Is my screen visible to you guys? Is my screen visible? Like, please acknowledge in the chat box. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Great, great. Okay, so okay, so we'll be starting with a few math methods, right? We have math methods in our JavaScript. So firstly, I'll jot down the total methods, right? Uh, uh, Math methods are basically these are just the functions, uh, like which help you to perform mathematical operations, right? Which helps uh, you to perform mathematical operations. Mathematical operations. Right. Okay. So we have different math methods, right? One of them is math dot round, math dot random, math dot floor, math dot pi, math dot I would say seal, math dot like everything there is math in front of it, right? So just writing the main functions. Round, random, floor, pi, seal, square root, sqrt, and I guess these are enough, right? These are enough. Yeah, these are, yeah, one absolute is also there, ABS, right? Okay, so we have few math method. One of them is our math dot round and math dot random. These two are like little more important. So we'll start with them first. See, what math dot round is. For example, if you have uh, a number of 3.1423, right? 21, any random number. Now, like in the initial days of our schooling, right, what we do is we were given the task, okay, if the number is greater than 3.5, then round off it to 4. And if the number is like smaller than 3.5, like 3.467, all these things, right? If the number is odd, like the same way, we'll just switch it back to the lower term, right? So let's see how it happens. We'll see how this round of function works, right? I'm giving it a folder of math functions, right? Side my math function, let's see, next.html, and I'm just, sorry, not a folder, just thinking at app.js. Um, let's open a live server. Anything. Simply my console window. So this is fine. Right. Let's assume I want to give it a math dot round. See, I'm working on math dot round, and I'm giving a value of, let's say, 3.224. Right. Turning out to be 3. Again, turning out to be 3. But if I'll go for this, right, this will now turn out to be 4. But now, if I'll make it 5, turn out to be 4. If I'll make it 4.5, 4.47, right? So that 5, 4. Any number which is above 3.5 is basically considered to be greater than, like falling towards the fourth side, like towards the higher end of it. 3.5 and above 3.5, it will fall towards the 4, right? Let's go to our uh, round function, round uh, method MDN, right? So we can see here. If you want to try any number here, you can try it there as well. This is not MDN, this is W3 schools. Uh, this is MDN, right? So yeah, we can see that 0.9 is turning out to be 1, 5.5 is turning out to be 6, 5.05 is turning out to be 5 only, right? In a similar way, we can do with the negative numbers as well. See, basically what negative number do is, uh, if I want to do it of minus something. So why is that going to minus 4? Because minus 3 is a larger number, like minus 3 something is a bigger number than minus 4. So it will go towards the lower side of it, right? Is this clear to you? Like, is this negative thing clear to you? Since this 3.5 is larger than, like, larger towards than minus 4, so that's why it's going towards the negative side rather than going towards the positive side line. If I do it 3.4, then it will turn back towards minus 3 only, right? Just make sure of this negative number. If I'll again do this negative number 3.5 and 5.1, 3.5, it will turn out to be this 3.5. Just a second. Right. In negative, I guess 3.5 negative is considered to be uh, minus 3 only. I preferably need to add any more single digit number here, 3.5000, any number which will give it a hint that okay, is this greater than 3.5 or is this like equality is there? So that's why you need to give any one unit which will ultimately let that thing know okay, this 3.5 something something something, like after so many zeros, is greater than minus 3.5 or less than minus 3.5. If it is greater, then it will fall towards the minus 4 side, and if it is smaller, then it will fall towards the minus 3 side. Right. I'll just copy this thing for you. These are basic functions, so no need to like mug them up. Just you can Google out whenever you need. Right. This is for the round. Round. Now we'll be learning about random. Math.random is something which is a little important. If I go to like say math dot wait, yeah, it should be capital. Math dot random, right? If I'll simply run the function, it will generate a random number for me. Like if I'll again keep on like running this function now, it is generating any random number according to his or her like compiler's wish, right? But if you see one thing very clearly, that the number is not exceeding the value uh, from one, right? So math.random is basically where is my stylus? Right. See, math.random will always lie in the range of 0 to 1, wherein 0 is not inclusive. Not inclusive as in 1 will never be the part of the random number which will be generated. The number can be between 0.0 till I would say 0.999. And it can be any number, but it will never touch this one, right? So this is not inclusive. So this can be the range of random numbers. So let's assume I want to create a random number. Uh, Let me just clear it up for you first. Not clear. I'll just this way. Math.random. I want my number to exist from 0 to 9, right? So what I'll do, I'll simply multiply this number with 10, right? It is generating numbers between 0 to 1. If I'll multiply the number with 10, so it will be, yeah, 0 to 1. Then if I'll multiply the number with 10, then it will give me the possible values from 0, because 0.00 is also the possibility. And from 0 to 9 point something, like it will never touch 10, right? So it will give me like 6 point something, 6, so 3 point something, 6 point something, and 6 point again something. Any random value according to them, whatever suits it. Like see, here we are getting near about 0. It's 0 point something something something, right? So 0 is the possible value. What I can do is I'll simply use the math.random function, and I'll simply chain one more function to it. Like I can say that what's that? I'll make the use of round function. Round off, it'll round things for me, right? Math.random. Okay, sorry. Bracket is little wrong. Yes, right. Again, math.random. Just a second, chaining. some bracket issues are there. Just let me see to that. Chaining. Right, see. Math.floor, initially, math.floor, math.random, multiplicativity. Okay, I just used a simple, wait. I made a small mistake. I did a very small mistake, right? I need to use math.round, not just round, right? This is where this function is happening. Simply, this will be calculated and that I'm doing it again, right? This is generating me a random number between, like I would say, uh, 0 to 9 or 0 to 10, where 10 is not inclusive. So now I want this number to be like somewhat near, uh, I want it to be like round off thing, right? So this is my function. I'll use math dot round and let's see, this should work. Yeah, I don't know if it will not work, then yeah, it is rounding off it to be 0, right? If I do it again, it is rounding out if it to be 6, rounding out it to be 6, 7. So 0 is possible in this case, but again 10 is not 10 should not have been possible. How? Okay, this is rounding off like if the number, wait just a second. Here it is possible because the round off could be like I would say, where is my screen? Yeah. If the number comes out to be 9.7, right? 10 will never be the number. If the number will come out to be 9.7, then what will happen? It will tend it to be, it will make it towards the higher side. That's why we are getting 10 as an answer as well. So what we need to do is we need to use the floor function. I'll tell the floor function first, then we'll do it this time again, right? Floor function is something which, like, if your value is 3.9 or your value is 3.1 or your value is 3.0001, any number which is less than 4, in this case, just a random number, any number which is less than 4 will tend to fall towards a lower grade, right? If you take example of your room, that anything which is between your room will fall towards the floor, right? So let's assume this top is my 4, this floor is my 3. So except the fan, everything which you like throws up and everything which is present over the inside my room, except those who are attached towards the ceiling, right? They'll fall down. They'll fall down towards this 3 section, right? The number could be 5, 8, anything. Like similarly, I'll go with 4 and 7, right? So this is basically called the seal, and this basically is called the floor, right? So here, what we need to do is not we will not we don't need to round it out. We need to just simply say floor so that in the round off case, this 10 can also be possible, right? But we don't want that key, it exceeds the value. So we just simply turn out it to be like in the floor section. Now this cannot ever, I would say, cross the limit of 9, above the 9. Like it will never go above 9. If I like keep on doing things, then I can see that there are numbers generated till 9 also. Line is also generated in the above line, but 10 you will never encounter, right? So this is how you can do the chaining, as well as this is how you can like find the random numbers. So just a second. I'm copying few of them for you. Random. And again, we learned about floor as well. I'll give you example of floor again, right? Floor and seal. Right? So if I want any of the number that uh, path dot floor of, let's say, the value of floor, if 3.4 is there, then it will turn out to be 3. If 3.8 is there, turn out to be 3. If 3.9999999, like we typing just any number, but it'll turn out, sorry, it uh, it turn out to be 3, right? So this is the floor function which fall makes it fall towards the floor side of your room. And similarly, here goes about the seal. We talk about the seal, right? So any number which is less than, like it is like the fan stuff. Anything present anywhere which is above the above the floor it'll hang towards the roof of your like seal of your room, and it will like stay there, and basically it is attached towards the seal, right? So it will ultimately take the value of the seal. It's just opposite of that of the floor, right? So if I give it a number of let's say, if I give it 3.0, then of course it will give me 3. But if any digit except 0 will be added now, then it will turn out ultimately to be one level above the net. That is the seal thing, right? So I guess uh, this is all about seal as well as floor function. So and seal, I'll say it one time only, right? So okay, we can study about that. And what was our next one? Floor is done. Round. I'll give you a question to of this, right? Floor, pi is right, pi, square root, and absolute, right? Okay, so let us go with the Mike. Yeah, so maths dot pi, right? If I'll like use, if I want to use the value of pi, then I have a method, I have a function with it like math dot pi. This math dot pi can be multiplied with any of the thing. Like let's assume that answer is equal to, let's say, 2 into pi. We use the value of pi, right? So math dot pi, and which is multiplied by, let's assume the radius is 4, then ultimately let's see the answer is turning out to be something multiplied with the pi value, right? We are not concerned about the answer, we are concerned that okay, we are getting the answer, so it might be right, like it's definitely right. But yeah, we can use math dot pi as well. uh, Pi function, uh, after that pi we have abs, absolute, right? So absolute, what basically absolute is, we learned about floor will uh, like 3.9 will float to 3, and 3.01 will also float to 3. This is floor. If we talk about seal, then 3.0001 will turn out to be 3.999 will ultimately turn out to be 4 only. This is seal. Uh, Pi may we basically get the value of 3.14 blah 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 value, which is like already present value of pi, like already present value of pi. And I would say floor is done, seal is done. Random and round, right? Random and round are done, right? Random here is done. Round, you can see from there only. So make sure this is very important. I'll be asking you a question to it, right? I'll explain also at the same time. Pi is done, seal is done, square root and absolute, right? Now what this absolute is, let's see. For example, I have this let answer is equal to, I'm taking a value of 10, right? I'm taking a value of 10. So I want to do it like math dot abs, that is absolute of the answer. What is absolute of the answer? 10. But what if I take negative of the answer? It is also 10. If you are not able to get things right, if I give a value of like any random number here, even it is negative or it is positive, both the answer will ultimately turn out to be the same thing. So it is basically kind of modulus thing, like the mod which you used to study in integration, and before the topic of that, not the percentage modulus, the modulus when we use our integration and mathematical stuff, right? So all the negative numbers and all the positive numbers are ultimately turned out to be the positive only. So this is the use of this absolute function, math dot absolute. So ABS is there, and after that we'll be knowing about square root, SQRT, right? Square root. So let's say you have a number, let your product, like let your what's that square, let's say square is equal to 36, right? Square equal to 36. So if I'll do uh, math dot sqrt, and I'll give the value of square, and let's see what comes. It is turning out to be like, yeah, it is turning out to be 36. But if I'll give the value of 35, then it will exactly give me the answer, not like a floor or not like, I would say that C length floor function. It will not work like that. It will ultimately give you the exact answer, which turns out to be the square root of that function, right? So this is how we basically make use of our square root function. So just remember these basic stuff, out of which math.random is important. So let me give you a small question. Yeah, let's assume that we know random numbers generate numbers between 0 to 9, which 10 is not inclusive, right? 0 to 9 only. So what if I want to generate the numbers in the range of 22 to 25? Like let's assume I want to generate a number of from the range of 22 to 25, then how will this happen? Like how will you just make it happen with the help of using random numbers? Or like I would say you can take help of this floor function, you can take help of this any of the functions which we just read right now, any of the function, any. How will you make this happen just to generate a random number between 22 to 25? Yeah. Uh, my question is clear, right? Is my question clear to all? 22 plus math or random. Okay, let's wait for others also. Uh, Chagrin, if the number can be generated from 22 to 25. I guess there are not three, there should be like four, because 25 is also inclusive of it, but your concept is right. Like others are not able to get this, or is it like it needs to be let rand is equal to math dot random maximum limit, where we can set the limit. Not in this way, use your like mathematical use, right? 22 plus 4 of random, right? Cool. Okay, so few of you are like right. So we are basically testing how strong your mathematical equations are. See, basically what happens is how we do it. I'm just giving you example because there could be possible times when you generate OTPs. Also, you will never generate OTPs like this. There are like libraries for that, and there are different packages for that. So we'll never do it like this. But there can be a possibility like a person asks you to generate a six-digit number, right? So you can do it that way. Okay, so fine. Just for example, not diving deep, there are four numbers, right? 22 is possible, 23 is possible, 24 is possible, 25 is possible, right? So if these are the possible values, then your number, then that is your random function needs to be get multiplied by 4, right? Also, if it is getting multiplied by 4, right? So there could be a possible answer of between 0 to 4, over which 4 is not inclusive, like 0 to 4, over which the 4 is not inclusive of that, wherein your values will lie, right? Multiplying by 4 means like, let's assume I'm having any number between 0 to 0.99. This is what we get in random numbers. Let's assume getting 0.4, right? So 0.4 will be multiplied by 4. Ultimately, it lend me out to be 1.6. And if I'm using my floor function, right? I'm using my floor function, this will turn out to be 1.0 or just 1. So this 1 will be added to the 22. That is the first possible value which could have been taken place, right? First possible value which could have been taken place. So now the random number generated will be 23. Adding the first number is important, and we need to know how many numbers are there out of which we can generate the values. So this is how we can do it, right? This is how we can do it. So let's try it here, like with a small number. I want to deep dive into larger numbers. I want it to be like uh, math.random. First, right? Math.random. Give me a random value. I'll multiply it by 4, right? Now, if I'll multiply it by 4, I want it to be like in a floor function. Then I'll go for uh, right, math dot floor of this function. And after that, I'll be simply adding my value which I need to uh, like the first digit which is possible, right? So 24. If I'll keep doing this now, so 26 will never happen, but 22, sorry, 22 to 25 values could be possible. 26 will never come, right? 25 is coming, 23 is coming, 24, 22, 25, but this 26 will never come, right? So this is how we basically generate random numbers between two given values, or according to your usage, right? So keep this in mind. This is just simple maths, right? So I think I should copy it. I'll copy few of the stuff. I won't copy much. Generating random numbers between two given numbers 22, 25. Right. So great. Also, uh, we are having different operators in JavaScript, right? I'm just telling the name of the operators. You need to like they're quite basic. That's why I'm not diving deep. You just need to uh, take a look of them from MDN. Arithmetic, like these are quite basic. Those who have done any of the programming language, they are like very easy. Relation is like basically comparison operator, like comparison bolo, relational bolo. That's one and the same thing. Right. Just read it from the docs if you need any kind of help there. Right. Just telling you the names. Go for logical, bitwise, relational, logical, bitwise, and I guess this is enough. Like just read about them. They are more than sufficient. Just like go to MDN and read docs. MDN docs or Web3, W3 schools. Anything which is suits you the most. So read from there. Right. Okay. Now we basically have comparison operator, right? One is the comparison operator also, which I will discuss, which is important, right? Comparison operator, which is a part of like, which is a small part of this category, comparison operator, right? So what this comparison operator is, like this is little important. That's why I'm focusing here. So the comparison operator here could be of two types. That is double equal to, and one is triple equal to, right? This triple equal to is called strict equality, right? Strict st. Just a second, strict equality. I'll just explain the difference between the two in a while, right? Strict equality and this, like I would say, this double equality is like just comparison operator, just comparison operator, comparison equality operator. You can name like use any of the name, but you should know how the functionality works, right? Just for example, we'll see there. Just for example, but if I'm having a string number and if I'm having just a number, if I use my double inverted comma and if I use my triple inverted comma, right, with the same questions, the answer in both the cases will be different. Why? Like it'll give me true as an answer and it'll give me false as an answer. I'm just pretending and I'm just giving the results right now. Now let me tell you why. Right. Okay. So this double equality operator, what it does is when it is comparison, when it is doing comparison, when it does comparison, it also performs typecasting. Also performs typecasting. Typecasting, like here, I would say that the data type could have been changed. Like data type can be uh, replaced, or I would say data type can be. Uh, what's the better word with suits here? Type for typecasting, that data type can be replaced or data type can be like manipulated. I would say manipulated. Cool. But in the case of triple equality operator, in this comparison, typecasting does not take place. Does not take place, right? That is, let's assume this is my A side and this is my B side, right? In double equality operator, the data types can be manipulated, right? Data types can be of different type as well. Data types can be of different types as well. But in the case of triple equality, data types has to be of has to be of the same type. Else it'll give me an error. Not error, it'll give me false of the same type. Right? It'll give me false. Okay, I just gave you an explanation. Let's see how this basically works behind the scene. Right. Okay, if I'm coming back to my lecture, right? I just want to check. Okay, is my 4 equal to 4? It's giving true, right? And is my 4 equal to 5? False. Of course, we know 5 and 4 are different numbers. But what if I'll just use my string 3, which is equal to 3? It is again showing me true. Why? Because this is a comparison operator, comparison equality operator, wherein the typecasting takes place and this data type would have been like replaced or changed or adjusted or manipulated accordingly. But on the other hand, if I would have used triple equality, then this typecasting would not have happened. And this is ultimately knowing that, okay, one of the side is string, another side is int. So both are not of the same type. That's why it is giving me ultimately false as an answer, right? So the similar way, if we just want to go for like true is equal to true. So the string is cannot be equal to right. If I go for like 0 equal to false, right? 0 equal to false is there. Yes, it is there. Why? Because it is ultimately getting typecasted. But if I'll use triple equality, then it is false. In the same case, if I go for string in the case of my 0, right? Then also it is like using the typecasting thing just to convert this string into the Boolean type. First, I guess firstly the process would be like this string, right? In this case, the string 0 is first converted into int 0 and then it is converted into bool, right? So this is how this string is being converted in the case of false, right? String int bool. And just for reference, this is also like something which you can easily read out in your MDN, right? I would say strict equality operator MDN. Let's see, strict equality. So here you can see the examples. We have a table as well here. You need to observe the table here. Uh, Let me see where the table is, if it is present here. That's the same, I guess, right? I guess these both are the same. So okay, just basically do one thing. Read the stuff out of here. Like they both will give you a strict equality and equality operators. They both will give you a clear example that how things are working and how this like you can manipulate the like examples as well. You can try it over your own consoles and try out different things, right? So this is something which you should try, and this is important for you to know and how things work, right? We can also check for like there is they are like looped inside only. We can like go from one page to another using the same link. I'm just uh, giving out one link to you. Check the quality, copy, run math dot floor, math dot random, maths minus one. You can do it that way also, right? Cool. Maths minus one, right? Uh, This is from where you can read about strict equality, and inside it there is like hyperlink present. You can go and check out for equality operators, inequality operators, and strict equality operators, right? So just go and see this. Uh, Also, I would say, yeah, logical operators ka I need to tell about small concept. See, logical operators ka just a small concept I'll tell you, like just a statement which everyone should be aware of, right? What basically logical operators are? They are like using double and in it. Let's just assume for an example, I want to say that my 5 is greater than 3 and my 2 is less than 3, right? So for and like they both have to be true, right? Those who are having some issues, they kindly please read the documentation for these different operators, like these operators work. Kindly read about them. Just giving a small example. Uh, this is true. This is true. And if you're not finding it comfortable, just assume that, okay, this is true because I'm saying, right? If both the conditions are true, then only they'll ultimately turn out to be true, right? But if any of the operation of them is false, right? Let's just assume this is true and this is false. Then it will give me false, right? But here the condition comes as soon as we are aware of the result, as soon as we are aware of the ultimate result, as soon as we are aware of the ultimate result, we, the compiler, I would say, I won't say we, the compiler stop performing the function, right? The compiler stops performing the function, performing the function, right? What I mean is, just for example, let's assume this 3 is greater than 5 and 2 is less than 3, right? This statement is false because we all know 3 is smaller than 5, not greater than 5. And this is true. But according to the compiler, as soon as as soon as we are aware of the ultimate result, then then the compiler stops performing the function, right? In this condition, they both have to be true. They both have to be true. But if the first condition only, let's assume this is my condition one, this is my condition two. If my condition one is ultimately turning out to be false, then there is no possibility that anything which encounters towards the condition two will change the answer, right? So this operation will stop here and there only, right? It will not go and check out for the second thing. So this is what I meant to explain, that if the final operation is known, yeah, because of this false, my final operation was known that yes, this cannot be true anyways or by any means. So as far as this first case one, condition one is known, then and condition one is known and the answer is 100% predictable, then you cannot switch to the, like, the compiler won't switch towards the case two, right? So this is what which I wanted you to know, like how the compiler basically works in the case of logical operations, logical operators, right? Uh, like if you want to give it a read, like just go and Google it. It's a very small thing. Also, now we'll see how we can get the input, how we can get the input from the user, how the user will give the input, how the user will give the input, right? Give the input. I'm running quite fast, I know, because these are quite basic and not like not so difficult things. But if you are finding it difficult, just let me know first. Let us just discuss it right now. Is it difficult for you guys, or is it like quite basic stuff? Because according to me, it is quite basic, but I'm just like wrapping the stuff so that you can get to know about the syllabus, what all you have to study in the coming days or according to your preparation. Is it basic, right? It's quite basic, easy, basic maths. Yes, sir, basic. Yeah, others also please respond now. I'll be little fast on that basis only. Easy, sir, easy, basic. Yeah, it's easy, right? That's why I'm like running quite fast. Okay, great. So let's do one thing. Let us see how we can like how we can like get the input from the user, right? Okay, so getting the input from the user, there is a small function we have. I won't say function, that this is a method, that is prompt. PROMPT, right? Prompt, and simply give it a string like whatever you want, like write your age, write your age, write your number, and blah 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 stuff, right? So this prompt is responsible for taking uh, user user's input, right? Let us check it now. Okay, all my code is commented. All my code is commented. There is no problem with it. Yeah, cool. I'm learning about taking users. Just what taking users input. How we'll do it? We'll simply use the function prompt. I'll say prompt, and inside my prompt, I'll be giving the string like what I want. I want Nagarro friends to submit their score, right? Nagarro students to submit their score, right? I've given it a prompt. Up, let's see, are we getting things or not, right? Let us close that up. Let us check it out here, right? Inside my console, let's see. If I'll refresh it, I don't know. Why is it not getting here? No, enter. Right, now we are getting. I guess I have not again attached my style.css. That's why I was sure of it, right? So I'll be attaching my style.app.js. Really sorry, I'll be attaching my app.js. Now, if I go back to my like I would say my document, right? Then it is automatically asking me. Once I'll refresh it, it will automatically ask me, Nagarro students submit their scores. Let's assume my score is 23. Okay, I've not performed any function. I have just asked for the input, right? I've asked for the input. I can write any of the string in it, right? Any of the string in it, right? And in order to change that string into just number, you have parseInt and parseFloat functions, which we talked about in the earlier class. So do practice about that as well. So what we can do is we can write a very small function just in order to uh, make sure how this things will get up, right? So let's assume uh, how will I do it? Okay, we'll we'll make it easy for you. Okay, let age is equal to. It's a good example. Let's all try to be focused here, right? Let's age is equal to prompt. I want the user, the students to enter their age, right? Students enter your age. I want the students. I would say just enter your age, right? There could be a possibility that anyone can write. Okay. Let age is equal to. I'm taking the value from the user. Now I want if my age factor, this age factor which I've been taken is greater than, I would say right now is less than 18, then I would say console.log I explained in the like previous class, like in the morning class, I would say previous morning class. Uh, you are not allowed to enter the club, right? Below 18, you are not allowed to enter the club. Right? This is the condition. I'm not the one who decided this. Uh, it's about them, right? Uh, if your age is, let's say, greater than equal to 18, and your age is, let's say, less than 25, right? There are two conditions there, right? Then the console.log simply you can enter, but you cannot drink, right? Of course, like there is a drinking limit. So I don't know about the age, but it's okay. Uh, Third is any number above 25 is like console.log. I would say welcome to the club. You are now your own responsibility, right? You're now your own responsibility. So if you're 25 and above, then nobody will care about you. So I've written a very small if and else condition. Let me explain what if and else is if someone is still facing a problem in it, right? See, if and else if these both are conditionals, like if else if and else, all are conditions, but if and else if is the one wherein you'll be writing the conditions that what is the condition over which you want your judgment to take part, right? If you want, okay, your age, whatever number you are getting from the prompt is less than 18, if age is less than 18, then this will run. If this will run, then none of the operation which is like present in the like in below this if will run. If provided it is not if, it is else if and else. Even else if ladder hardly matters, right? If this condition is true, then ultimately this will work and none of the operations which are below it will work. Similarly, if else if will run, then it'll like if it is run and if you have else if loop, then they'll definitely try out things, but the else will not run. The else will only run when all the conditions above this like are failed. Now this else runs, right? This is also quite easy. Again, if you are having issues, then do go and learn basic programming like that. That hardly takes 15-20 minutes to run this if else if and else laddering also, right? It's easy. quite easy, but just for the example, right? So I've given the code that if age is less than 18, if age is greater than equal to 18 and less than 25, and if above 25, you are your own responsibility. Let's see what happens, right? If I go to my compiler, right? The browser is yet waiting for me. Like, see, you can see the reloading is happening there. The browser is yet waiting for me to enter some, I would say, the enter some numbers, enter some digit. If I'll go for, let's say, I'll go for one, right? Then you are not allowed to enter the club. But I want to try for different things as well, right? I'm a team. I'm a team. So it says you can enter you can enter, but you cannot drink. How it came? It came because of this if condition. Once this if condition works, this else if and else would not be like even checked. Like I'll refresh it again just in order to get my prompt value back again, right? So if I'll type the age, let's say if I'll type 25 only, right? So again, it is showing me you can enter, but you cannot drink because this is also inclusive of 25, right? Equality sign is there. If I'll remove this equality sign and if I'll again refresh and enter the age 25, then it is saying, welcome to the club. You are now your own responsibility. That is, the age is above 25. Equality also is there because I removed the equality from this side. This else will work, and whatever was written or whatever the functionality was there inside your else, this is ultimately running out, right? So this is about like how you can take the input from. I'll just copy this for you, right? This is like how you can take input from. Why am I copying it? It's already written in the app chase, right? Yeah, I'm not, I don't. There's no need to copy this. I'll simply give it that way, right? So this is about how you can take values, right? Now we learn basics of arrays. We'll start with the arrays, right? Uh, what are arrays? Let us switch to what are arrays. I told about prompt. I gave you an example. Example is there. Gave you this logic operation equality, right? Okay, we can move to the arrays. Like basics of arrays. I guess major functionality we'll be covering in the next class because this one hour class is always like a little difficult to cope up. Right. Okay. So arrays. Arrays are basically, I would say, it's a data structure. Array is a data structure. Of course, it's a data structure. Everyone here must know about data structures. And second thing is, they are ordered collection of data, right? They're just the ordered collection of data, nothing else. I've not said anything else. I just said they're ordered collection of data or ordered collection of values, right? Ordered collection of values, or I would say data, anything like you want to prefer, anything. And the most beautiful part of arrays in JavaScript is like there is no need of it to be of the same data type, of same data type. Like inside my JavaScript, I have no compulsion of adding any of the value, like any kind of value inside my array. It is not compulsion like in other programming languages that I need to mention only the same kind of data types. Same data types are not necessary, right? I'll just give you an example right here, and then we'll switch to the coding part as well. So if we'll see just the example, then let's assume I'm having an array. Let array is equal to, I would say 1, 2, 3. And at the same time, I can give it a value of Sam. I can give it a value of Nagarro, and I can give it a value of let's say coding blocks, right? Coding blocks. And also I can give my array inside my array. I can give it a array as well here, right? So this is how beautiful arrays are in JavaScript. That is, there is no compulsion over writing a particular kind of values inside your array. Like it could be anything. Like it could be anything. Uh, right. So also, let's assume that this is my zeroth index, right? Let's not assume this is like the reality. We're not assuming things. We are just switching on things here. This is also part of it, right? So this is my zeroth index, first, second. Array starts from zero, right? Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. Now, how can I access this five, which is inside my array, which is inside my seventh index of the array? Then how can I access the number which is there in the array itself, right? This is, I guess, zero and first and second, right? Of that array only, right? So how we can do it? It's pretty simple. If I want to access just this 4, 5, 6 as an array, then I'll simply write array of 7. I told you we can do it in the arrays and strings as well. So we can do it if we want the entire array to be covered. that is present on the 7th index. But if I want my array, which is present on the first index, to be just shown, right? So I'll be like doing kind of 2D array, or maybe I would say this is also kind of chaining of the arrays, chaining of the indexes, wherein I can find and get the values. This will give me 4, 5, 6 as a value. That 2 of an array inclusive. This will just give me 5 as a value, right? Uh, let's see how we can make an array and how this way basically array functionality works, right? Uh, Also, this is something which is called heterogeneous, right? Heterogeneous, CENOUS. That is, it can have multiple values inside it, right? It can have any, I would say, multiple values, right? In fact, I can give like my undefined and null as well inside my array. I'll just show it right here. Multiple values are possible. Multiple values are possible. Right. I'll make a good array with almost most of the content covered inside it. Right. But, let's say I'm making an array. I'm making it right here. Right. That array is equal to simply inclusion and exclusion of my square braces. Square, parenthesis, or parenthesis, whatever we say that, right? So I've started adding my elements in the array, right? Now I'm writing it off for different types. Sam, Nagarro, or I would say Aditya sir, and let's say I can have undefined, I can have, I can have null here, I can have what we have there now. We have a, let's say, array is also not 3 for 5. Let's say we have 5, 6, 7 here, and inside this array, I'm having one more array, right? Inside this array, I'm having one more array. I'm having, let's say, 0 and 890. We get 890, right? This is basically my array, right? Let's see what happens. I'll not close it. Let me copy first. Now we'll do it. What is happening? This array is not yet closed. Now, okay. Right. So let's see how we can get the values of the array. If I'll simply type array, then it is showing me yes, there are 9 elements present inside it. I'll simply copy and paste it over my, like, see, this is how we can declare array. I guess this is not a big rocket science thing. I'm just adding any value, any sort of value which is there in my mind, which is possibly which possibly is a value. So I'm just writing things there, right? Okay, so let's see it over our OneNote. If I'll copy the values, then this is my first index, this is my second, this is my third, this is my fourth, this is my fifth, this is my sixth, seventh, eighth, and this is my ninth. This overall is my ninth, right? 9, 8, 7, this is 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Also, I want to encounter this 0. How can I do it? I just told you about go to the array initially, find the base index. What is the base index? Like where we can find this small array that it's already, I would say, inherited array. That will be a wrong word. That is like the array which is enclosed inside the parent, right? This is how we can use it, right? So I would say, firstly, I'll go to the parent. Yes, my ninth element is the parent, and I'm really sorry, I've made a wrong count. I need to start it from 0. Started from 0. Right. I made a wrong count. Start from 0 instead of 1, and reduce each and every value by 1. Right, instead of 1, reduce each and every value by 1. So this also has to be 8. Now I've entered the 8th, right? Now inside my 8th element, I have this as first element, this as my second element, this as my third element, and this entire as my fourth element, right? Then I need to go towards my uh, child of child which is present here. But I need to go again towards the child of this fourth element, right? This fourth element is also considering itself to be another array. So I want to encounter the 0, 1, second position. That is the 0 element there, right? Then I'll again do the chaining and go to the second element. This is how I can counter 0 in my array, right? So make sure of this that you can make proper use of indexes while calculating the arrays. I'll do it right here. Let's assume this is my array. If I go to my array 9, let's say if I go to my array 9, array, oh sorry, array 8, it has to be array 8. Array 8, then yes, I'm getting this like array 4 entirely, right? I can see what are there. So these are the possible values by expanding, right? These are the possible values for expanding the 9 array, which are 9 elements of the array, right? Cool. So now I want to go to my array 8. Inside my array 8, I need to go to the array 3 because this array, which is again present, is at index 3. And inside it, I again want to go to my this is also clear to you guys, like how we can do the chaining inside the arrays and how we ultimately encounter different elements here, right? Is anyone saying anything? Right? I heard some noise. Shruti Gupta saying, Achha, yes, okay, basically. So, is this clear? Is this thing clear to all? Like how we can encounter your different elements present in the array and how we can like do sort of chaining to get the answers or to move
Sir,
towards. Yes, yes.
sir, when we are entering inside an array और उसके अंदर वाला एलिमेंट जब देख रहे हैं तो हमें वहां पे स्टार्ट करनी है.
Yeah, okay. I got your question. I got your question. You are asking that it will start again from the 0th index, right? Okay, just a second. Let's assume this is your array, right? 0th element, first element, second element, third element, fourth element, and I would say fifth element. And inside this fifth element, there is one more array. Just giving you a diagram, right? Trying to represent according to the educational purpose, but ultimately all the things will be like enclosed in this bucket only, right? And this is my, let's say, uh, sixth element, seventh element, and eighth element according to you. But this is not possible because once this is my main array, this is my major array. This array is enclosed inside my array, right? Inside my array. So I cannot take the count above than 5, right? I cannot take the count above than 5 in the case of parent element. I have to encounter my parent element first in order to check their child, right? This is their child. And if you want to check or hover over the child, then you again need to start because it itself is also an array. I'm talking about arrays, right? This itself is also an array. An array always starts from index 0. So that's why it is always considered to be like start from 0, 1, and second index and so on, right? If we just forget that we have a parent array as well, if we just remove this from our mind, then the child, that is this array, which is present in my fifth index, that is also another array. And in order to iterate an array, we need to like start it from the 0th index only, right? Is that clear?
Clear,
Is
sir.
it? Okay, clear. Let's like do one thing. We just we'll see 3, 4 methods, array methods. Then it'll be better for me to like start from the next class. I'll I'll make you guys know about 3, 4 methods, right? So there is like one push method, one is like pop method, push pop shift unshift, right? Yeah, push pop shift and unshift, right? These are the basic like methods which are present inside my array, right? So what it means, let's like understand in a layman language first. Like pushing is like, let's assume this is my array, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? I have my element array as this, right? If I use that, let's say this is my ARR. If I'll use array dot push and I'll give it a value of 5, right? Then this position, which is like the most recent and the most last position, wherein I can encounter my array or I can add values there. So here at this position, it will add the value at the end. This is the end side, right? At the end, it will add the value. Like end may it adds that value. If I'll go for pop, then pop p simply it's the same like key array के end say it removes the value. End may it removes the value. On the similar end, if you want to like enter the element from the front side, like if you want it to be like entered here, I don't want to be at the back, I want to be at the front, right? For that, you have what is this? Shift. You have shift, right? For this, you have shift and unshift, and this push and pop is basically your last, or like operates on the last element, right? Shift and unshift, right? Start में it enters या फिर adds that value, and start में it removes that value. Start say it removes that value. It's like understandable. Let's try to figure it out, right? Okay, so I'm making an array. Let's say I'm making an array of let's ARR is equal to a simple array. Won't complicate stuff right now. Like I have 4 elements in my array. If I go and check my ARR, this ARR is consisting of 4 elements. But now if I go and use my push function, push what it'll do, it'll add it towards the end. I'll push my let's say six right now here. Then there like 6 is being added because it is on the 5th position. That's why it's showing 5. Then if I go again back to the array, then you can see on the 5th position, that is 4th index, it is showing me what is showing me? It is showing me that the element which we added using the push, that is which makes the overall length of that array as 5. Now the 6 has been added towards the array. Now if I'll again see the array, then my array is overall changed, right? My original array is also changed. So always keep in mind all these methods are destructive. All these methods are destructive. These are destructive methods. Destructive methods, I would say. Destructive methods. Let's see the example of pop as well. I would say now I have an array. I am having an array like this. If I'll pop it, then pop basically what it does, it removes from the end side, and the element which it removes, it is giving me that value that okay, I've removed this 6th from your array. Let's go and check out our array. Now this array is only consisting of 4 elements back, and the last which was earlier pushed is now removed. Now if I want to add towards the front side, I'll simply say shift. What I want to shift? I want to shift 100. I want to shift 100. Okay, then it showed me okay, on this position I have like entered the value. Then if I again go to my what I have used, I have to write unshift. I guess I said it wrong way, right? Shift is to remove and unshift is to add, right? I need to just correct it that. Just a second. Shift is to remove and unshift is to add. Unshift is to add and shift is to remove, right? Don't confuse yourself now. Let's see it here again. I have shifted, that is, I have removed the first element. 100 is not there. So let's do it again. Let's make another array, right? There is a small problem now. Array is equal to, let's say, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Array is 4. And if I see my array is there, right? If I want to enter first, let's see if I want to enter array dot unshift, and simply enter the value which I want to enter. That is 100. I was entering 100, right? Now it is giving me the length. That what is the overall length of your array? It is 5. Let's see what my array looks like. Then this 100 is entered towards the front side of my array. And similarly, if I want to uh, like remove the first element, I can simply use this function unshift. Now it showed me, okay, this is the element which is being removed. And if I again check my array, then it is same way. If I again shift the element, it showed me, okay, now 1 is removed from the top. And if I again check my array, then my array is left just 2, 3, 4. That is all these methods which we just studied are basically the destructive methods. That is it initially and ultimately changes the original array itself, right? It changes the original array itself, right? So I hope so. This thing is clear to everyone, and I guess there is no doubts with this destructive part, right? Is this clear to all? Like these are basic methods of array, and always remember arrays are reference type. This we'll discuss in the next class as well because there is a small concept which needs to be explained here. So arrays are reference types, right? Arrays are reference types. Arrays are, then you can write a reference type. So this is very important. Keep this in mind always. Very, very important. a small concept is there behind it, which will be like studying in the next class, right? I guess today's class was quite easy and there was nothing much of a load kind of stuff. So just do one thing for the tomorrow's class. Just remember, just recalculate about this array methods and destructive and non-destructive methods, so that we can like easily understand a few more properties which we'll be discussing in the next classes, right? So just revise your array, revise, and I hope this weekend was good for you guys and you guys like finished with your HTML CSS part. ये sir, interesting class. Oh, interesting class you're saying. Okay. Nah, it's basic. Like once we like really dive into JavaScript, that will be like something which we'll really love because JavaScript is like most loved programming language I can really say. So yeah, JavaScript is important. So we have to pay attention there as well as your practice should not be stopped. You should like carry forward your practice, right? Uh, just pushing my code. Uh, okay, the code is pushed and you guys can check it out from there. And you guys are having this access of OneNote as well. So just check out the array methods and we'll connect in the next class in the morning. Till that, just revise your array JavaScript part and we'll be like diving deep into JavaScript like pretty soon. Like in next two classes, you'll be like ending up with JavaScript and like you'll be having very huge knowledge of JavaScript after that, right? So let's end this class right now. I guess it's time as well, and things are clear, right? Any doubts to anyone? I hope so. Things are clear. Any doubts? Please acknowledge in the chat box. Is there any doubt or anything? Doubts? No doubts? Abhishek Goswami. Yes, sir. With this sir. Okay. Doubts, Abhishek. Okay, then great. I think we are good to end this and.